You're listening to the Goodfirms Leaders Roundtable podcast, and I, Suhana Bhattacharya, would like to thank each and every one of you for supporting us from the very first episode. Truly, it means the world to us. Also, after reading numerous blogs, LinkedIn posts, and Twitter threads about AI and various tools, I am now convinced that there is no industry left that will not be impacted by this technology. You name it, right? So, of all the industries, we are here today to talk about the role and impact of artificial intelligence, particularly in the education sector. So, for that, we today have our guest Ganesh Verma, CEO of an IT company called MoogleLabs. Now, MoogleLabs help businesses leverage cutting edge technologies. So, thank you so much, Ganesh, for joining us today. So, could you please start by telling more about your company and your roles and responsibilities in it?
Thanks, Sohana. Very good afternoon to you, and thanks for providing me this platform to share my views on this particular topic. Yeah, so Moogle Labs, as you mentioned, it provides different organizations across the world to leverage cutting edge technologies. So I have been pure techie guy since the start of my career. So I started my career somewhere in 1999. So it's around 24 years now. And everybody knows that technology is changing very frequently at a very rapid pace. So to keep up with that pace, and of course leveraging all those advancements that are coming in different domains, different sectors, that's the key. So traditional software service companies, they really find it difficult to cater to the traditional technologies and at the same time the upcoming new technologies. So that was the idea behind this organization coming up, where we are always working on the cutting edge technologies only. So whatever is latest or upcoming in the industry, so we are working on that.
Thank you so much for that. And we are so glad to talk with a person who has such a varied experience because since the last so many years, technology has changed so much. So, as I mentioned, that AI has already changed the way this generation is studying and learning. So, how do you envision artificial intelligence transforming the educational landscape in the next decade?
Yeah, so AI, I would say, combined with virtual reality, will definitely be the biggest contributor in transforming the world of education. We are already experiencing some changes in how education is moving towards more digital platforms and sources. And in fact, in some of the cases, educational institutes have also started using VR to educate their students. So, from changing the way education is imparted, how immersive that learning experience can become, how to enhance personalized learning based on each individual's unique learning capabilities, how the real time feedback can be provided, considering lot many factors into consideration rather than just right answer or wrong answer. So, that I believe AI will surely become a game changer in that.
Exactly. And as you mentioned, that personalized learning will be the key focus while integrating AI into the education system. And because we all believe that every student is different and they do have individual learning needs. So, can you suggest some ways through which AI can assist in identifying and addressing these learning gaps where students sometimes may need additional support for different subjects?
Yeah, definitely. Every student is different in how they perceive the education on the knowledge that is imparted onto them, right? So, right now, the traditional system primarily focuses just on yes or no, whether an answer is given that is right or wrong. But there are several other factors, several other attributes that are related or associated with that particular response, even if it's wrong. How we can correlate those attributes to ensure that going forward, that continuous improvement or the way the knowledge is being imparted for that particular individual, that can be further enhanced. So AI can assist with personalized learning and it offers non-linear learning. In gameplay, your decisions affect what happens next, right? So in the study, doing the same can make education more engaging and allowing more control over the educational journey, especially when you are learning a particular topic. So this is just an example. There are several other ways that AI will impact in the education system. As for identifying and addressing learning gaps, AI can truly transform the area as we know it. It can help create smarter content and complete courses that engage users. And with enough data, it can also help identify where the learners are losing interest, maybe pinpointing sections that need changes to ensure complete immersion into those subjects or those specific topics.
Yeah, exactly. And AI can truly transform and meet those individual demands that students have. And speaking of teachers, I believe that apart from imparting education, there is a ton of work for them. So, like administrative tasks and all those small tasks, which also may act as a burden for them. So, what role can AI play in automating these administrative tasks in educational institutes?
So, of course, teachers genuinely have a lot of things on their plate. So, it is essential to create AI solutions that can change this particular aspect of the education system also. So, to begin with, automating homework checking, test evaluation, that also is going to reduce a lot of overhead from a teacher. Additionally, we can assist educational institutions in automating lecture resources and organizing the study material, preparation of progress reports, giving real time feedback. Though I must admit, apart from blockchain and AI based learning management systems, there is still a long way to go before we kind of turn these ideas into reality. There are a lot of solutions that are coming up, but of course, that maturity level is yet to be achieved.
I think though we are progressing, it will definitely take some time, as you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
There has been a rise of virtual tutors or digital assistants. So, how can these AI powered tutors or digital assistants personalize learning experience for students, and how can they provide a better tailored guidance and support for students worldwide?
So essentially, how this is going to help us is because a whole lot of content preparation, scheduling, imparting the knowledge, providing real-time feedback, continuous improvement. So those are all the things that would be taken up through a virtual tutor only. So right now, for all these things, multiple people are required to do all these things. I think a virtual tutor can take up all this role single-handedly. So definitely a lot of scope, and of course this is going to play a huge role in future.
And we have often seen that there is a difference in what is being taught in schools and what is actually needed in the industry, and that is a huge gap. So, how can AI contribute to bridging this gap between education and industry requirement, ensuring that students are equipped with those skills which make them job ready?
I think you, me, and everybody else who has gone through that traditional educational environment, at some point of time, we talk to each other that, okay, I learned this particular thing in mathematics, I learned this particular thing in chemistry or physics, but where exactly I'm using it, right? Of course, technology is growing at a very fast pace, which means education needs to keep track of all those advancements and accordingly upgrade as per these changes to help provide relevant information to the students. First of all, identifying where the gap is. Right? That is the key because once we know where exactly the gap is, then of course we can do something to bridge that particular gap. So AI has the ability in identifying that, and if we are able to figure out where exactly the gap is, then of course things can be customized, or things can be upgraded accordingly. And in terms of efforts, in terms of the time it will take in traditional education scenario to bridge this gap, that is going to be huge. So AI has to play that role wherein identification of that gap between what is being imparted within the educational sectors and what is actually required in businesses or industries across the world. So identifying that and of course fulfilling that, creating the content accordingly, upgrading the content continuously on the fly. With the AI, we can do it on the fly. We don't have to even schedule it like updating the content on a quarterly basis or yearly basis. I mean, we can do it in real time as it is happening. So we can do that, those upgrades on a real time.
These things will really help bridge the gap between education and industry requirement. And one thing that I could really relate to you was that we all talk with our friends or colleagues that, hey, I was taught school, but where are we actually using it? So for me, I think it was integration and differentiation because sometimes I often think that where are we actually using it?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So far we have talked really good things about how AI is doing a lot of stuff in the education sector, helping teachers, helping students get more personalized learning. But I also wanted to know that are there any ethical consideration that needs to be addressed when implementing AI in education? How can we ensure that there is a responsible and ethical use of this technology?
Very good question, I would say. See, education is one place where integrity, fairness, humanity, belief, those should always be the very prime factors, whatever way we are trying to impart that knowledge. But these should be the very prime factors, whatever mechanism we are trying to adopt. So, as for ensuring the ethical use of AI technologies, I would say the onus rests on organizations that are creating and distributing the systems through various channels. Because every technological advancement that can be used as a boon or bane. Now, how exactly we are using it, I would say onus is on us who are actually trying to utilize that. So, how well we are utilizing it, how effectively, how efficiently, in a constructive way, that would be a game changer for the educational.
And I agree to what you just mentioned that the control is in the hands of who is developing it. And I'm sure it will be developed with all the good thoughts. So, can you share any case study where AI has actually made a significant impact on education? Also, please feel free to discuss any similar projects that MoogleLabs have worked on.
Yeah, sure. So if we talk about how we are able to get response for a particular topic, which I am, for example, I'm thinking of any particular topic, the ease in which I can get the content or solution related to that, that is the power of AI. But at the same time, it may be a student who is using a tool like Chat GPT to write his assignment. So that case, education departments, they have the responsibility to ensure whether the content is AI written or the students they have actually learned what they were supposed to learn. So that is one particular thing which we should be looking at. It is a double-edged sword, and children are only going to be better at using these technologies. So as for the positive impact of AI, it is already helping the education system and industries create better courses that are engaging, that are immersive, that are more up to date, and of course provide high value addition to the learners. Specifically talking about MoogleLabs in terms of case studies, so we have worked on quite a number of projects related to education, and biggest one is the learning management system, which basically deals specifically into industries fraud instances. So it includes analyzing and mining certain type of data, including demographics, preferences, social interactions, and many more attributes. And combined, it basically ensures how there are different frauds that happen in different types of industries, and how we can basically learn from the case studies that are present under that learning management system, how we can effectively use that tool to ensure that we are very much knowledgeable, we are very much alert from these type of frauds happening to us.
Hmm. While we've been discussing a lot about AI in education, it's definitely not like that AI can replace human teaching, which is so essential for students. So, I just wanted to know what are your thoughts on this balance between human instruction and AI driven education tools? How can we strike the right balance to maximize the learning outcomes?
Very good question, actually. So it's not very simple, I would say. It is definitely going to take a lot of trial. When we are going to attempt something, we'll learn from that, and based on that, we'll have to update it. So it would evolve for sure. As many overhead tasks as possible must be assigned to the machine. So that is one thing we should be doing whenever we are implementing AI solutions. So we should be very selective of that fact that what exactly is being given or asked from AI tool. So what are the kind of actions we are expecting that AI tool to perform? So that selection is very important. And when it comes to core education, the presence of teacher that would be mandatory always, because when we are talking about human touch, belief, integrity, and all those things. So what exactly is being kept to a human and what exactly is being provided to that AI tool, that selection is the key. So core teaching through interactions, that of course must be left to the educators. However, for the other tasks like homework checking and consolidating some information, creating the best content out of a whole repository of things that are available. So those are the things where we can see how to utilize AI tools.
So I think just 2 to 3 years back, we used to say that AI is the next big thing. And today we are actually living in a time where AI is getting into every other industry and perhaps changing it forever. And businesses want to jump into this AI revolution and want someone to help them with solutions that are cost effective. So, how has Goodfirms helped you beat your competition?
Goodfirms has been an excellent partner and it helps us achieve a wider audience and garner their trust even before we talk to them or they talk to us. So once certified or stamped by Goodfirms, and when a customer comes on Goodfirms and looks about our organization, then we don't have to kind of do anything extra, anything else to basically build up that trust level. So that is one key thing I would say Good Farms has been providing us in last many years. So thanks for that.
We are so glad that we could play that role. And thank you for choosing us in your growth journey. And for this conversation, because we wanted to have this conversation with someone who has such a vast experience in this particular industry from so long. So thank you so much for giving us your time and your knowledge and sharing it with our audience as well.
Thank you.